It's tough. Baker Mayfield makes feelings known on Shedeur Sanders Browns' future and potential success in Cleveland after Joe Flacco gets named QB. The Cleveland Browns fans finally have the answer to one of the biggest questions of the offseason, but it wasn't what many expected. Everyone was wondering who would be the starting signal caller. The Browns drafted 2 QBs this year in Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, while also having NFL veteran Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, and Kenny Pickett on the roster. On Monday, the Browns named Flacco as their QB1 for the 2025 NFL season. Some fans wanted to see Sanders get that opportunity, especially after seeing his performance in the preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. Reacting to the news, former Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield talked about Sanders' future with the franchise. "I mean, it's tough," Mayfield said. "Since he was young, he had the spotlight on him, so people are going to be overcritical of every little thing. So, I mean the cliché, control what you can control. As a quarterback, that's how you win a football game and how you elevate the guys around you. I think he himself has all the pieces he needs to have success, and it's about the time and place." NFL analyst makes an interesting prediction about the future of Browns rookie Shedeur Sanders. Ever since the news of Joe Flacco becoming the Browns' QB1 came out, many wondered what's next for Shedeur Sanders. NFL analyst John Middlecoff predicted that Dillon Gabriel will start a regular season game before Sanders. On the 3 and Out podcast, he said, "Joe Flacco was always going to start week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. That's not the story. The only story is now what's going to be their quarterback depth chart when the season starts. Dillon Gabriel's gonna start a game in the regular season, assuming they're both healthy before Shedeur Sanders, and everyone's gonna freak out. Yet this organization chose this guy ahead of him for that reason. I think this circus is going to grow dramatically. It'll be interesting to see if Shedeur Sanders gets the opportunity to start any games for Cleveland in the regular season." Baker Mayfield has never been one to hold back his words. Cleveland still remembers his fiery glare, the shoulder shrugs, and the chip-on-the-shoulder energy he carried through every game in a Browns jersey. 4 years, he was the face of a franchise desperate for relevance, a quarterback drafted first overall to be the savior. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate, he became a symbol of promise never fully realized in the city that drafted him. Now, with the Browns in another stormy quarterback saga, Mayfield has broken his silence about rookie Shedeur Sanders, just as veteran Joe Flacco was surprisingly named QB1. And the former Browns star didn't sugarcoat it. The Browns' never-ending carousel. To understand Baker's tone, you have to look at Cleveland's endless quarterback carousel. In just 2 decades, the Browns cycled through more quarterbacks than some franchises used in their entire history. From Tim Couch to Johnny Manziel, from Deshaun Kaiser to Baker himself, and now Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland's quarterbacks have often been more headline than highlight. Joe Flacco, the seasoned veteran with a Super Bowl ring, stepped into Cleveland last season almost like a patch. He wasn't supposed to be more than a stopgap. But now, his QB1, the one holding the steering wheel in what was supposed to be Shedeur's year of promise. 4 Browns fans who believed in Sanders, the son of Dion, the flashy Colorado star who turned NCAA Saturdays into social media spectacles, this was a gut punch. And for Baker Mayfield, it was déjà vu. Mayfield's words, more empathy than criticism. "It's tough," Mayfield admitted when asked about Shedeur's current position. "Cleveland's a city that loves you when you're winning, but if you're not in that spotlight, you can feel like you don't even exist. Shedeur's got talent. Nobody can deny that. But talent doesn't always survive the environment here. You've got to fight twice as hard, and sometimes even that isn't enough." Baker's words weren't bitter, but they were heavy. There was a subtle undertone of lived experience of being drafted with hype, playing through pain, and then being discarded when the organization found something shinier. He seemed to see parts of himself in Shedeur Sanders, maybe too much. "Shedeur reminds me of me," Baker continued. "Confident, fearless, loves the spotlight. But the reality is, the NFL doesn't care about your story. Cleveland doesn't care about your story. They care if you win. And right now, Joe Flacco gives them the best chance to win. That's just the truth." Shedeur's position, between potential and patience. For Shedeur Sanders, being benched behind Joe Flacco was never part of the plan. Draft night painted him as Cleveland's future, his father Deion Sanders smiling proudly, his swagger unmatched. Fans were ready for Sanders to break the curse, to be the new face that finally lived up to the hype. But the NFL is cruel. Unlike college football, where Shedeur carved defenses with confidence and charisma, the pro game punishes rookies. Faster reads, bigger hits, harsher critics. Add in the fact that Flacco, at 40, looked shockingly steady in his starts, and suddenly Shedeur is left to wait. Baker's comments resonate here because he knows the timeline of patience in Cleveland is shorter than anywhere else. Fans want results today, not tomorrow. If Sanders waits too long, the city's love can vanish before it even begins. The Cleveland curse or the Cleveland test? Mayfield's insight goes deeper than sympathy. Cleveland isn't just a franchise. It's a test, he said. The guys who survive here, they're built different. You're constantly fighting uphill media pressure, fan pressure, even locker room pressure. But if Shedeur can weather this, he'll come out stronger than any QB in the league. It almost sounded like Baker was challenging Sanders. The subtext was clear: you can let Cleveland break you, or you can let it sharpen you. Baker himself admitted Cleveland shaped him, even if the ending wasn't pretty. His grit, his refusal to give up even as he bounced to Carolina, Los Angeles, and finally Tampa Bay, was forged in the fires of Cleveland criticism. Shedeur has to decide what this moment means, Baker added. He can sulk, or he can study. He can doubt himself, or he can prepare for when his time comes. Because trust me, in Cleveland, that time always comes. The Flacco factor. Joe Flacco being named QB1 was the final twist. Nobody expected a quarterback drafted in 2008, who once battled Tom Brady in AFC championships, to still be stealing jobs in 2025. Yet here he was, steady as ever, winning Cleveland's trust while Sanders watched from the sideline. For Sanders, this is humbling. For Mayfield, it's familiar. When he was benched in favor of backups during his final year in Cleveland, the sting never left him. Seeing Shedeur now in the same position, Baker's words carried weight: don't take it personal. This league doesn't care how old you are or who your dad is. The guy who moves the chains gets the job. The future in Cleveland. So, what does this mean for Shedeur Sanders Brown's future? If Baker's words are prophetic, Sanders will either rise from this setback stronger or risk fading into Cleveland's long line of what-if quarterbacks.